So as it is mentioned, when Sati passed away, giving up her body, the news was conveyed by Narad Muni to Lord Shiva. So in various pastimes, it is very clear that at appropriate time, appropriate moment, Narad Muni plays very important role. Just like we find that when Kansa, he was actually uh, being very compassionate, he thought that because the eighth son of Devaki would kill me, let me spare other children, because Vasudeva is so honest. He promised and he is bringing the newborn babies. So first baby, when it was brought by Vasudeva, Kansa actually was very liberal in a sense that he was not willing to kill. He said, okay, I don't have any fear from this baby, so let me leave, or let that baby be happy and you also be happy. But then Narad Muni goes and conveys the message in such a way that Kansa understood that, oh, there can be danger from any child born from Devaki. And then he actually kills other children also. So whatever was their Lord's plan in relation with these uh, six children who were sons of Kalnemi, and as they had received the curse also from Hiranyakashipu that you will be killed by your own father, so Kalnemi appeared as Kansa. So similarly here also we find that Narad Muni's appropriate time, he is going and conveying what happened, and then we find Lord Shiva, he becomes angry, and then he he also understood that Bhrigu Muni had created the Rubu Deva demigods by uttering the mantras of the Yajurveda, and that these demigods had driven away all of his soldiers who were present in the arena of sacrifice. Therefore, he wanted to reply to this answer, and thus he decided to kill Daksha because he was the cause of the death of Sati. So, certainly, it is very clear that now, even though when Sati went to her father's house, that time Lord Shiva's followers had also accompanied. But then, because of these Bhrugus chanting mantras and creating Rubu demigods, these followers of Lord Shiva, they were actually defeated, they were driven away. So now, to give appropriate response to that, so Lord Shiva, he is creating, we'll see how he is creating Virabhadra. Text 2. क्रुद्धः सुदष्टोष्टपुटः सधुर्जटिर्जटां तडिद्वन्निसटोग्ररोचिषम् उत्कृत्य रुद्रः सहसोत्थितो हसन् गम्भीरनादो विससर्जतां भुवि.
Translation. Thus Lord Shiva, being extremely angry, pressed his lips with his teeth and immediately snatched from his head a strand of hair which blazed like electricity or fire. He stood up at once, laughing like a madman, and dashed the hair to the ground.
Okay, someone would like to say similar thing you heard?
Yes, Prabhuji, when Ambarish Maharaj was
Yeah,
there,
so who was
Durvasa
that
Muni.
person? Durvasa Muni. So
Durvasa
he is
Muni.
also partial expansion of Lord Shiva. So similar thing we find that the way he is taking out the uh, hair or stand of hair from head. So like that Durvasa Muni also did. The difference is Lord Shiva, he is using it uh, towards the person who is actually uh, not up to the character. Here we find Daksha is envious towards Lord Shiva, who is actually the topmost devotee. And there, in that case, we find Durvasa Muni is actually using it against the Ambarish Maharaj, who is topmost devotee. So this is here right utility. Text 3. Tatoti kayastanuva sprusham divam सहस्रबाहुर्घनरूप त्रिसूर्यदृक् करालदंष्ट्रो ज्वलदग्निमूर्धजा कपालमाली विविधोद्यतायुधः.
Translation. A fearful black demon as high as the sky and as bright as three suns combined was thereby created. His teeth very fearful and the hairs on his head like burning fire. He had thousands of arms equipped with various weapons and he was garlanded with the heads of men.
So you have heard about Rudrasura's description or different demons when their description comes. You will find that their hairs on their head, they're described as coppery, or as here it is mentioned, like burning fire. So the appearance is quite fearsome, and unless and until such kind of appearance is there, so there is no question that the other party will feel like no get that fear. So to ensure that the whole dakshas, whoever may support, everyone will be properly rewarded. With that understanding, Lord Shiva created such a powerful demon. Text 4. Tam kim karomiti grunantamaha baddhanjalim bhagavan bhutanataha daksham sayajnam jahimad bhatanam tvamagrani rudra bhatanshako me.
Translation. When that gigantic demon asked with folded hands, "What shall I do, my lord?" Lord Shiva, who is known as Bhutanath, directly ordered, because you are born from my body, you are the chief of all my associates. Therefore, kill Daksha and his soldiers at the sacrifice.
Yeah. So here we get clarity how whenever such mystic power is used, if the person who is employing the mystic power, just like we understand this tantra, it can be black magic or like no sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. So in tamasic tantra, if it is used against the person to whom it should not be, like no, it is not working, or just like on Lord Krishna also on Dwarka, the demon was sent, but when that was not able to act, do anything to the Lord and Dwarka city. So that time the demon went back and killed the uh, Brahmanas, those who had created the demon. So here there is no question that uh, even though such kind of demon is created, that purpose will be unfulfilled, because Lord Shiva, he is even though he is becoming angry, but then he is becoming angry for the right cause. So we'll find how in purport Prabhupada is comparing about Brahma Tejas and Shiva Tejas. So we'll see it. Purport. Here is the beginning of competition between Brahma Tejas and Shiva Tejas. By Brahma Tejas, Brahmanical strength, Bhrigu Muni had created the Rubu demigods who had driven away the soldiers of Lord Shiva stationed in the arena. When Lord Shiva heard that his soldiers had been driven away, he created the tall black demon Veerabhadra to retaliate. So now Prabhupada is clarifying how there is sometimes a competition between the mode of goodness and the mode of ignorance. That is the way of material existence. Even when one is situated in the mode of goodness, there is every possibility that his position will be mixed with or attacked by the mode of passion or ignorance. So certainly, even if one may have that understanding that, oh, we are doing everything in proper goodness and all that, but when it is discussed about the goodness of this world, so certainly goodness of this world is always tinged with passion and ignorance or ignorance. So either it is and or both. So that's why there is safety or there is precaution one has to take. Although pure goodness or Shuddha Sattva is the basic principle in the spiritual world, pure manifestation of goodness is not possible in this material world. So even if sometimes someone may say that, oh, there is no tinge of passion or ignorance, but still, here it is very clearly mentioned that pure manifestation of goodness is not possible in this material world. So when we speak of goodness in this material world, we have to understand that somehow or other it is impure only. Only Shuddha Sattva, Vishuddha Sattva, Sattvam, Shuddham, Vasudeva, that is possible only in the spiritual world. Thus, a struggle for existence between different material qualities is always present. This quarrel between Lord Shiva and Bhrigu centering around Prajapati Daksha, is the practical example of such competition between the different qualitative modes of material nature. So, हे रुद्र हे भट युद्ध कुशल मत भटानाम त्वम अग्रणी संसयज्ञम दक्षम जहि. So it is mentioned that you are agrani or you are the leader amongst my associates. So you go and kill Daksha. Brahma Tejo Durjayam iti Mamsaha. So don't think that it is difficult to conquer or Brahma Tej. Yatasvam me Shankaha. So because you are the Anshakaha, you are my portion or you are part and parcel of me. Text 5. Ajnapta evam kupite namanyuna sadev devam parichakrame vibhum mene tadatmanam asangaram hasa mahiyasam tat sah sahishnum.
Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, that black person was the personified anger of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he was prepared to execute the orders of Lord Shiva. Thus, considering himself capable of coping with any power offered against him, he circumambulated Lord Shiva.
So very clearly mentioned how it was the personified anger of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Take 6. Anviyamana saturudra parshade brusham nadadbhir vyanadad subhairavam udyamya shulam jagadantakantakam sampradravat dhu ghoshana bhushanangrihi.
Many
Some
other
other devotees
soldiers, yeah, many other soldiers of Lord Shiva followed the fierce personality in a tumultuous uproar. He carried a great trident, fearful enough to kill even death, and on his legs he wore bangles which seemed to roar.
So generally whenever there is such kind of procession, so different processions, different kind of uproar is there. But when it comes for the sake of fight, now they are very clear that they are going for the fight with the soldiers of this Bhrigu, who had created this Rubu demigods and others, those who are there on the side of Daksha. So as there is going to be fight, so there is tumultuous uproar. So whenever such kind of sounds are made, actually it incites a person, it enthuses person so that they can be fighting very fiercely. And that's why we see here they are carrying their weapons and going ahead. takes on अथर्त्विजो यजमानः सदस्यः ककुभ्युदिच्छां प्रसमीक्ष तमः किमेतत् कुत एतत् रजो भू दिति द्विजा द्विजपत्न्यश्च दद्युः.
At that time, all the persons assembled in the sacrificial arena, the priests, the chief of the sacrificial performance, and the Brahmanas and their wives, wondered where the darkness was coming from. Later, they could understand that it was a dust storm, and all of them were full of anxiety.
Yeah, so they are able to understand that earlier they thought how this great darkness is coming, but as they were proceeding ahead, it was clear that that was dust storm. वातान वान्ति न हि सन्ति दस्यवः प्राचीन बर्हि जीवति होग्र दंडः गावो न काल्यन्त इदं कुतो रजो लोको धुना किं प्रलयाय कल्पते.
Conjecturing on the origin of the storm, they said, there is no wind blowing and no cows are passing, nor is it possible that this dust storm could be raised by plunderers, for there is still the strong King Barhi who would punish them. Where is this dust storm blowing from? Is the dissolution of the planet now to occur?
Yeah, so they are having this question, how is it happening? हेत्वंतरा संभवेन औत्पातिकं कल्पयन्ति वाता इति. So because they are not able to find other reasons, other causes, how it could happen, so they are feeling that whether it is the what kind of outpatikam, what kind of utpat is going to happen. दस्यु नाम भावे हेतु प्राचीन वरे तदा नितंतनो राजा जीवति iti. So because still the Prachin Bari is alive, so how is it possible such kind of dasyuna, those who are plunderers, they can cause such kind of havoc. Na kalyante, na shigram niyante. So this is also not the time that the cows will be taken to their houses shigram very quickly. So because in the Sandhya Vela or in the evening time, the cows they come back. So that time it can be expected, but that is not the time. But specifically significant in this verse is Prachina Bharir Jivati. The king of that part of the land was known as Bhari, and although he was old, he was still living and he was a very strong ruler. Thus, there was no possibility of an invasion by thieves and plunderers. Indirectly, it is stated here that thieves, plunderers, rogues, and unwanted population can exist only in a state or kingdom where there is no strong ruler. When, in the name of justice, thieves are allowed liberty, the state and kingdom are disturbed by such plunderers and unwanted population. So, someone can say, when in the name of justice, thieves are allowed liberty. What does it mean in the name of justice?
Prabhuji, it's like nowadays society too much freedom is there. So can we say that in the name of justice, that means they will say, okay, we'll give you justice, justice. So then the thieves become very arrogant.
No, no, no. Will give you justice, not like that. It is something like uh, nowadays you find people, even though government knows that drinking wine or having cigarette and all, it is injurious to health, it is not good addiction, but still the license is given, and every nook and corner, most of the places, all these shops and everything is found. So in the name of justice, okay, because some people may want it, and because everyone has their own freedom, so in the name of giving justice to everyone, yes, because you may want to have it, so it's your choice, so government is allowing, so that kind of liberty should not be justified. So like that, these thieves are also allowed liberty. So either these thieves can be directly those who are like pickpocketers and other kind of plunderers, or there can be thieves who are not directly stealing the property, but they are actually taking away money of the people by various means. So it is just in the name of justice. That's how people are cheated. So if you see during Corona time, there was big queue, and that queue was so long. Anyone knows what was the reason there was such a big queue? There was no such queue even for food also.
They had allowed liquor, sale of liquor.
Yeah, so there was big queue for liquor. So we understand that yes, in the name of justice, such kind of nonsense is going on, and that's what here Prabhupada is mentioning, that when in the name of justice, thieves are allowed liberty, the state and kingdom are disturbed by such plunders and unwanted population. The dust storm created by the soldiers and assistants of Lord Shiva resembled the situation at the time of the dissolution of this world. When there is a need for dissolution of the material creation, this function is conducted by Lord Shiva. Therefore, the situation now created by him resembled the dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. And this Veerbhadra is also the Ansha of Lord Shiva, as Lord Shiva himself says that created from my body. Text 9. प्रसूतिमिश्रः श्रिय उद्विग्नचित्ता उचुर्विपाको रुजिनस्येव तस्य यत्पश्यन्ति नाम दुहितॄणां प्रजेशः सूतां सतीम् अवदध्यावनागाम्.
Prasuti, the wife of Daksha, along with the other women assembled, became very anxious and said, "This danger has been created by Daksha because of the death of Sati, who, even though completely innocent, quit her body as her sisters looked on."
Yeah, so directly the wife of Daksha, she is also understanding, or mother of Sati. They are all discussing this. प्रसूति दक्ष पत्नी सा मिश्रा मुख्यायासाम. So vipakaha phalam. So they are discussing and they are saying this is the result of vipakaha. So that is the sinful action of Daksha. Pashanti namiti tasya dukkadike. So because as other sisters of Sati, they were also watching, and because of that, tasya dukkha dikke. So her sorrow increased more. If others were not there, it's like kind of public insult, that kind. Prasuti, being a soft-hearted woman, would immediately understand that the imminent danger approaching was due to the impious activity of hard-hearted Prajapati Daksha. He was so cruel that he would not save her youngest daughter, Sati, from the act of committing suicide in the presence of her sisters. So, why it is emphasized here, so cruel? So generally, it is said that a person has lot of affection for the youngest son or youngest daughter, and even though Sati is the youngest daughter, still Daksha's heart became so hard, he became so hard hearted that because of envy towards Lord Shiva, he even forgot that, or he was not even able to appreciate that, oh, she's my youngest daughter. Sati's mother could understand how much Sati had been pained by the insult of her father. Sati had been present along with the other daughters, and Daksha had purposely received all of them but her, because she happened to be the wife of Lord Shiva. So, practically saying that he actually ignored her, he did not welcome her, he did not receive her well. This consideration convinced the wife of Daksha of the danger which was now ahead. So, this consideration, that is all that happened, they are all witness, and thus she knew that Daksha must be prepared to die for his heinous act. Extend. यस्त्वन्तकाले व्युक्तजटाकलापः स्वशूलसूच्चा श्वशूलशुच्चार्पितदिग्गजेन्द्रः वितत्य नृत्यत्युदितास्त्रधूर्ध्वजान् उच्चाट्टहासस्तनयित्नुभिन्नदिक्.
At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva's hair is scattered and he pierces the rulers of the different directions with his trident. He laughs and dances proudly, scattering their hands like flags, and thus scatters the clouds all over the world.
So here Sridhar Swami says that actually na cha idam sutavadnya matram kintu rudravadnyanam cha. So this is not only suta, that is the insult of the daughter, but this is also the insult of the Rudra, that is Lord Shiva. Ataha nasya bhadram bhavishyati ityah. So bhadram, there is no question of auspiciousness bhavishyati possible. So that is explained in these two verses, this verse and next verse. But Prasuti, who appreciated the power and strength of her son-in-law, Lord Shiva, is describing what he does at the time of dissolution. This description indicates that the strength of Lord Shiva is so great that Daksha's power could not be set in comparison to it. At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva, with his trident in hand, dances over the rulers of the different planets, and his hair is scattered, just as the clouds are scattered over all directions in order to plunge the different planets into incessant torrents of rain. In the last phase of dissolution, all the planets become inundated with water, and that inundation is caused by the dancing of Lord Shiva. This dance is called the Pralaya dance, or dance of dissolution. Prasuti could understand that the dangers ahead resulted not only from Daksha's having neglected her daughter, but also because of his neglecting the prestige and honor of Lord Shiva. So, as we saw, Sridhar Swami also mentions this. This is 10th verse. Viragavachar here says, असह्य पराक्रमम रुद्रम कोपयतो दक्षस्य अमंगलम आवशम भावित्याहु द्वाभ्याम स्थिति. So, because Lord Shiva's prowess is asahya, it intolerable, and because now he has become angry, so certainly Dakshasya amangalam. There is guarantee that Daksha, there is a great inauspiciousness for Daksha. And further, as it is mentioned in the verse, details are given. Videno disho enasa harshena nrityati. Text 11. अमर्षयित्वा तम असह्य तेजसम मन्युप्लुतं दुर्निरीक्षं भ्रुकुट्या करालदंष्टाभिर् उदस्तभागनं स्वात् स्यात् स्वस्तिकिं कोपयतो विधातुः.
Thus the gigantic black man bared his fearful teeth. By the movements of his brows, he scattered the luminaries all over the sky, and he covered them with his strong, piercing effulgence. Because of the misbehavior of Daksha, even Lord Brahma, Daksha's father, could not have been saved from the great exhibition of anger.
Yeah. Someone would like to explain this part? What we studied till now based on that?
Can we see it, Prabhuji, like this, that if someone is an offender of an Vaishnava, no matter who is he cannot be saved. To that matter, even the creator of the world, secondary creator in that means, Brahma can also not save, or father, or anyone cannot save if someone is an offender of an Vaishnava. Should we take it in
Nice.
that way?
I just mean to say whatever we studied means like it was there in the text. Based on that, if you'd like to say, nice what you are saying, but based on what we studied.
The previous purports and verses, right?
Hmm?
So one thing I'm seeing that Daksha's wife, Prasuti, she is so intelligent. She knows everything about the, the dissolution and about Shiva and other things. So very intelligent. I just felt like that. That's one point.
Anyone else would
Prabhuji,
also like to
can
try?
we say that regarding the modes, like the mode of ignorance is becoming greatest over the mode of goodness and even passion?
No problem. Basically, earlier verse we read the translation wherein it is clearly mentioned that this anger is the personification of supreme personality of Godhead. So we have to understand that yes, certainly demigods like Brahma and all, they are subservient to the Supreme Lord. So this anger will certainly be very dangerous even to Lord Brahma. And that's why it is mentioned here that even Lord Brahma, Daksha's father, could not have been saved. So that is very clear.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Text 12. भवेवमुद्विग्न दृश्योच्यमाने जनेन दक्षस्य मुहुर्महात्मनः उत्पेतुरुत्पाततमः सहस्रशो भयावहादिवि भूमौ च पर्यक्.
While all the people talked amongst themselves, Daksha saw dangerous omens from all sides, from the earth and from the sky.
उद्विग्ना प्रचलिता दुर्गस्य तेन जन्मभूयता भवत्युच्यमाने सत्युत्पाततमामुत्पाता उत्थिता. So as these people, those who had become very much agitated, disturbed, as these people were discussing, so bhavatev uchamani satyutpata tamam mahotpata uttita. So as they were discussing, so they found that from all the sides, sarvatascha, so they were experiencing bhayavaha, great danger. Verse number 12. What Sri Vanshidhar Swami says, we'll see. Well, यद्वामहे यज्ञोत्सवे आत्मोद्देश्य यज्ञ. Okay, he's quoting from Sridhar Swami. No. Swamya Viparetaha. Purport. In this verse, Daksha has been described as Mahatma. The word Mahatma has been commented upon by different commentators in various manners. V. Ragha Acharya has indicated that this word Mahatma means steady in heart. That is to say that Daksha was so strong-hearted that even when his beloved daughter was prepared to lay down her life, he was steady and unshaken. So, we have not seen this. Yeah, here it is mentioned. Mahatmanah sthira chittasyapi dakshasya. Okay. But in spite of his being so strong-hearted, he was perturbed when he saw the various disturbances created by the gigantic black demon. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur remarks in this connection that even if one is called Mahatma, a great soul, unless he exhibits the symptoms of a Mahatma, he should be considered a Duratma or a degraded soul. हे मातरा सत्यमेव ब्रूतेत्येवं जनेन तत्र लोकसमूहेन अपि बहु उच्यमाने महात्मनोऽपि दक्षस्य यद्वा विपरीत लक्षणया. So even though all these people are loudly saying or mentioning him as Mahatma, still if there are yadva, if there are this viparita lakshanaya, duratmana ityartaha. So if the symptoms are different, not like Mahatma, then that person is duratmana. In Bhagavad Gita 9.13, Mahatmanastu mam parthavim prakriti ashritaha, word Mahatma describes the pure devotee of the Lord. A Mahatma is always under the guidance of the internal energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus, how could such a misbehaved person as Daksha be a Mahatma? A Mahatma is supposed to have all the good qualities of the demigods. Hara bhaktasya uto mahatguna. So, Mahatma will have all these qualities, but Duratma will not have these qualities. Yasya asti bhakti bhagavati akinchana. So, all the qualities of demigods they will be having. And thus Daksha, lacking those qualities, could not be called a Mahatma. He should instead be called Duratma, a degraded soul. The word Mahatma to describe the qualification of Daksha is used sarcastically. Text 13. तावत्स रुद्रानुचरेर महामको नानायुधैर्वामनकैर उदायुधे पिङ्गै पिशङ्गैर्मकरोदराननै पर्याद्रवद्भिर्विदुरान्वरुध्यत.
My dear Vidura, all the followers of Lord Shiva surrounded the arena of sacrifice. They were of short stature and were equipped with various kinds of weapons. Their bodies appeared to be like those of sharks, blackish and yellowish. They ran all around the sacrificial arena and thus began to create disturbances.
So who is saying this to Vidura?
Maitreya.
Yeah, Maitreya Muni is saying that. So now we see the situation as soon as they saw this, because just by seeing Veerbhadra also, for them the great fear. Already the kind of background we saw, and now they're all equipped with so many weapons and all. Text 14. केचित् बभञ्जुः प्राग् वंशं पत्नीशालां तथा परे सदाग्निद्रशालां च तद्विहारं महानसम्.
Some of the soldiers pulled down the pillars which were supporting the pandal of sacrifice. Some of them entered the female quarters, some began destroying the sacrificial arena, and some entered the kitchen and the residential quarters.
Yeah. So here we find that how these soldiers, because even though certainly Lord Shiva is greatest of the personality, but then the soldiers and his followers, they may not be of that stature, but then only the greatness is that somehow they are attached to the such a great personality, such a great devotee. So that is their credit, and that's how gradually they are elevated, liberated. So here we find they are doing the kind of activities, destructive activities, either just pulling down the pillars so that no whole pandal will fall, entering female quarters, generally fight and all. Nobody will bother to trouble the women, and destroying sacrificial arena, entering kitchen, residential quarters, all that. And we understand even Mahabharat war or other wars also. In general, it is seen that the general public is not disturbed. Only those who are warmongers or those who are involved in the war, Kshatriyas, they will be having war either outside the city or in a way so that general public will not be disturbed. The elderly people and all that, small children, women. Text 15.
Can we say the
Rujuh.
word? Can we say the word surgical war?
So somehow that kind of situation has aroused, and now those who are involved, everyone is getting punished. So if you remember, when Nityanand Prabhu was also insulted by, I think, Ram Khan. So not only the person who insulted Nityanand Prabhu was destroyed, but whole village was destroyed. So this is the great danger of Vaishnava Aparad. So here we say Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. So certainly now the fruits of such Vaishnava Aparad are seen. So write what you said. Text 15. Rurujuhu yajna patrani tathaikedni ananashayan तथैक अग्निन अनाशयन कुंडेष्वमुत्रयन केचित विविदुः वेदिमेखलः.
They broke all the pots made for use in the sacrifice, and some of them began to extinguish the sacrificial fire. Some tore down the boundary lines of the sacrificial arena, and some passed urine on the arena.
Yeah. So that was the purpose, to destroy the sacrifice of Daksha and then killing of Daksha also. So here we find how the sacrifice is getting destroyed. When it is mentioned here about some passed urine on the arena, why such kind of thing is required to be mentioned?
They contaminated the whole.
Yeah, it is ensure that the place is contaminated. Even if, let's say, sacrificial fire is extinguished, they can again light it up and all. But then when it is contaminated, everything is made in such a way, then actually they need to as we'll go ahead, we'll find that there are certain procedures need to be followed and all. So that's why it is completely ensure that everything is spoiled and contaminated. Take 16. अबादंत मुनीन् नन्ने एके पत्नीर अतर्जयन् अपरे जगृहुर्देवान् प्रत्यासन्नान् पलायितान्.
Some blocked the way of the clean sages, some threatened the women assembled there, and some arrested the demigods who were fleeing the pandemic.
Yeah. So here we see uh, in all different ways that no, if those earlier sages, those who were assembled there, they want to get rid of all this, so they are also stopped. Women were threatened, and the demigods, those who were trying to flee, they were also arrested, because these demigods, they are only on the side of this Bhrugu and they were supporting. So how they are punished and all that we'll see. Text 17. भृगुं बबन्ध मणिमान् वीरभद्रः प्रजापतिं चण्डेशः पूषणं देवं भगं नन्दीश्वरो गृहीत.
Maniman, one of the followers of Lord Shiva, arrested Bhrigumuni, and Veerabhadra, the black demon, arrested Prajapati Daksha. Another follower, who was named Sandesh, arrested Pusha. Nandiswar arrested the demigod Bhagat.
Yeah. So now these are important people. Bhrugu, then Daksha, Pusha, Bhaga. Now different people are punished differently as per severity, but then severity of Daksha's offense was great. So we'll find how Daksha is punished as we proceed. Text 18. सर्व एवर्त्विजो दृष्ट्वा सदस्यः सदिवोकसः तैरर्द्यमानः सुभृशं ग्रावभिर्नैकधाद्रवन्.
There was a continuous shower of stones, and all the priests and other members assembled at the sacrifice were put into immense misery. For fear of their lives, they dispersed in different directions.
Yeah. So continuous shower of stones. When we see even during Mahabharat war, there were people, those who were actually very much trained in throwing the stones. So there can be people of backward category, those who use stones, or there are some mystic ways by which the demons, they can ensure such kind of shower of stones. Sometimes pillars, sometimes rain drops in the form of pillars. So all that different kind of things they can do. So that's how all these people were put into immense misery. X90. जुह्वतः स्रुवः तस्य श्मश्रुणी भगवान् भवः भृगोर्लुल्लुचे सदसि यो अहस श्मश्रुदर्शयन्.
Veerabhadra tore off the mustache of Bhrigu, who was offering the sacrificial oblations with his hands in the fire.
Yeah, so now these are the different punishments. We'll see which person is given which kind of punishment. Text 20. Bhagasya netre bhagavan patitasya rusha bhuvi ujjahara sadastokshna yashapantam asusuchat.
Veerabhadra immediately caught Bhaga, who had been moving his eyebrows during Bhrigu's cursing of Lord Shiva, and out of great anger thrust him to the ground and forcibly put out his eyes.
Yeah, so the way he was moving his eyebrows, and that was the appropriate punishment for him. So that's how Bhaga is punished. Let me just see. There is. सदस्तसभायां स्थितः संशपन्तं शिवनिन्दां कुर्वन्तं दक्षम् अक्ष्णाक्षि निकोचेन सुचत प्रेरितवान्. Because this, how they were doing Shivananda, it is mentioned Shapantam Shivanindam Kurvantam. So because they were using their eyes, and with the movement of their eyes, Preritavan. So they were inspiring these people for blaspheming Lord Shiva. And Daksham, it is mentioned that Daksham Akshnakshi Nikochen. So basically, they are actually inspiring Daksha to blaspheme. So this is a great offense on their part, and that's why they are supposed to be properly punished. And here we find that this Bhaga is properly punished. Text 21. Pushno yapat yadat dantan kalingasya yatha balaha shapyamane garimani yo ahasat darshayadantah darshayan dataha.
Just as Baldev knocked out the teeth of Dantavakra, the king of Kalinga, during the gambling match at the marriage ceremony of Aniruddha, Veerabhadra knocked out the teeth of both Daksha, who had shown them while cursing Lord Shiva, and Pusha, who by smiling sympathetically had also shown his teeth.
Yeah, so both Daksha and Pusha, both of their teeth are knocked down. So for Daksha, because he showed his teeth while cursing Lord Shiva, and Pusha because he was smiling sympathetically. So it is mentioned that Kalinga Desha Rajasya Aniruddha Vahe Balabhadro Yatha Dyute Dantan Patitavan. So his teeth were knocked down by Lord Balabhadra during Dyuta. Ushnariti Patiri. So similarly, this punishment is given for both of them. Okay. He is mentioning about later what is going to happen, how Lord Shiva gives them anugraha, that we'll see in later part. But here a reference is made to the marriage of Aniruddha, grandson of Lord Krishna's. He kidnapped the daughter of Dantavakra and therefore he was arrested. Just as he was to be punished for the kidnapping, the soldiers from Dwarka arrived, headed by Balram, and a fight ensued amongst the Kshatriyas. This sort of fight was very common, especially during marriage ceremonies, when everyone was in challenging spirit. Any other incident you heard in relation with Lord Krishna's uh, son? This is now he is mentioned as a grandson.
Ram.
Yeah, right. So in that challenging spirit, a fight was sure to occur, and in such fights, there was commonly killing and misfortune. After finishing such fighting, the parties would come to a compromise and everything would be settled. This Daksha Yagya was similar to such events. Now all of them, Daksha and the demigods Bhaga and Pusha and Bhrugumuni, were punished by the soldiers of Lord Shiva. But later everything would come to a peaceful end. Now here it is appearing that everyone is punished, and it may, like, no, someone may say that, no, these are demoniac people, they are like, no, conquering over demigods, like that it may appear. But then that's why it is mentioned, but later everything would come to a peaceful end. So this spirit of fighting between one another was not exactly inimical, because everyone was so powerful and wanted to show his strength by Vedic mantra or mystic power. All these fighting skills were very elaborately exhibited by the different parties at the Daksha Yajna. Text 22. आक्रम्योरसि दक्षस्य शीतधारेण हेतिना छिन्दनपि तद् उद्धर्तुं न शक्नोत्यम्बकस्तदा.
Then Veerabhadra, the giant-like personality, sat on the chest of Daksha and tried to separate his head from his body with sharp weapons, but was unsuccessful.
Yeah, so now this is the time when he wants to give appropriate punishment to Daksha, and that appropriate punishment was to behead him or to kill him. So now, as he is trying with various weapons, so it is mentioned with sharp weapons, but was unsuccessful. Now, how much success he is getting, that is mentioned in the next verse. 22. Chindan abhi shirityupari vikti purushi bakul. So here, Trambakaha, this word is used for Veerabhadra. Trambako Veerabhadraha. Otherwise, generally we see Trambaka, sometimes it is used for Lord Shiva. Text 23. Shasre Shasrer Asranviter Avam Anirbhinna Tvacham Haraha Vismayam Param Apanno Dadyo Pashupatishchiram.
He tried to cut the head of Daksha with hymns as well as weapons, but still it was hard to cut even the surface of the skin of Daksha's head. Thus Veerabhadra was exceedingly bewildered.
Now we understand Veerbhadra is such a powerful demon. He also circulated Lord Shiva, and now not only that he is chanting hymns, but at the same time he is using various weapons, and still what is mentioned here, it was hard to cut even the surface of the skin of Daksha's head. It is just mentioned the surface of the skin. So how this is very clearly mentioned here. So thus Veerbhadra was exceedingly bewildered. So we understand that how he is such a powerful personality. We read his descriptions about his hairs, about all his body. So, like, no, how gigantic, how great he is in terms of as a fighting warrior, great personality. Now we are finding here that such a great person is also exceedingly bewildered, because even the surface of the skin of Daksha's head, like, no, it cannot be cut. Text 24. दृष्ट्वा सन्न्यपनं योगं पशूनां स पतिर्मखे यजमानपशोकस्य कायात् तेनाहरच्चिरः.
Then Veerabhadra saw the wooden device in the sacrificial arena by which the animals were to have been killed. He took the opportunity of this facility to behead Daksha.
स पशूनां पतिर्मखे संज्ञापनं योगं कंठ निष्पीडनादि रूपं मारणोपायं दृष्ट्वा तेनोपायेन अहरत. So now he got this opportunity. He saw the Sapashunath Patirmukhe. So during the sacrifice, the weapon that is used for sacrificing the animals, he saw that, and then he found the Maranopayam Drishtva. He found the means, and by that, Aharat, by that he actually killed him or he beheaded him. But in this connection, it is to be noted that the device used for killing animals in the sacrifice was not designed to facilitate eating their flesh. The killing was specifically intended to give a new life to the sacrificed animal by the power of Vedic mantra. So here the purpose is mentioned. The animals were sacrificed to test the strength of Vedic mantras. Yajnas were performed as a test of the mantra. So there is a question, as it is mentioned here, that animals were sacrificed to test the strength of Vedic mantras. So how is it that just for testing Vedic mantra, the life should be like taken away from these animals? They are also living beings. Someone would like to say, why is it so?
They were given a new body.
Yeah, that is mentioned. They were given new body, but then already they have body.
But the new body will be a fresh new body.
Yeah, so they have fresh body only.
Is it promotion to the human being?
Yeah,
Better.
so that is what is that they get the higher life. They are promoted to the higher life if everything is proper, mantras are chanted proper, then they get human body. So that is nicely mentioned here. Otherwise, we find that how Narad Muni guides that all these animals, they are waiting because you are simply causing their slaughter. Even in the modern age, tests are executed on animal bodies in the physiology laboratory. Similarly, whether or not the Brahmanas were uttering the Vedic hymns correctly was tested by sacrifice in the arena. On the whole, the animals thus sacrificed were not at all the losers. Some old animals would be sacrificed, but in exchange for their old bodies, they received other new bodies. That was the taste of the Vedic mantras. Veerabhadra, instead of sacrificing animals with the wooden device, immediately beheaded Daksha to the astonishment of everyone. So here, as it is mentioned, they have old bodies, they receive new bodies, other new bodies. So when it is mentioned received other and new bodies, so that is very clear that if mantras are successfully chanted, then they receive human body. That was the taste of Vedic mantras. So if it is not properly chanted, it is like unnecessary killing of the animals. Text 25. साधुवादस्तदा तेषां कर्म तस्य पश्यतां भूतप्रेतपिशाचानाम् अन्येषां तद्विपर्ययः.
Upon seeing the action of Veerabhadra, the party of Lord Shiva was pleased and cried out joyfully, and all the bhutas, ghosts, and demons that had come made a tumultuous sound. On the other hand, the Brahmanas in charge of the sacrifice cried out in grief at the death of Dakshi.
So just like when darshan opens, Jai Ho, Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra. So the way victory is pronounced. So like that here, there is victory for the followers of Lord Shiva. So they are making tumultuous sound. They are pronouncing Jai Ho that way. So, but then other side, they are like no crying in grief because the main person who is performing yajna, now that person himself is killed. जुहावते शिरस्तस्मिन् दक्षिणाग्नो अमर्षितः तद्देव यजनं दग्ध्वा प्रातिष्ठत् गुह्यकालयम्.
Veerabhadra then took the head and with great anger threw it into the southern side of the sacrificial fire, offering it as an oblation. In this way, the followers of Lord Shiva devastated all the arrangements for sacrifice. After setting fire to the whole arena, they departed for their master's abode Kailash.
Yeah. So here we understand that purpose of killing Daksha, as he was beheaded and his head was also thrown. So it is very clear that because now his head is thrown into the sacrificial fire, offering it as an oblation. So now even if someone wants to feed that head and again chant mantras and revive, that is also not possible because that head is also offered it as an oblation. Now other things, whatever arrangements are there, we earlier also saw how those arrangements were also devastated, and what was remaining, if they found that something is remaining, that was also spoiled. And after doing everything, and it is mentioned after setting fire to the whole arena. So if some arrangements are there, let's say sitting arrangements, like kind of kusha mats, or some arrangements are made keeping yagya, sacrifice, in the mind, all those arrangements, just because they set fire to the whole arena, so everything was spoiled, destroyed, and after doing this needful, they are going back to Kailash. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the fourth canto, fifth chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Frustration of the Sacrifice of Daksha. So as we saw, those who were from the side of Lord Shiva, they were saying it as sadhu vadaha, but then those who were on the side of Daksha, for them it was like Annisham Brahmanadinam tad viparyeha asadhuvadaha. Like from their side, they are actually condemning this act of Veerabhadra. Guhya Kalayam. So it is referring to the Kailasam. So as we see, verse it is not mentioned Kailas, but then it is mentioned as Pratishtat Guhya Kalayam. So that Guhya Kalayam is referring to the Kailas. इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे चतुर्थस्कंदे भावार्थ दीपिकायां टीकायां पंचमोऽध्यायः. Okay. You have any questions based on this chapter? Actually, main 7th chapter will require a lot of time. So we'll proceed for the next chapter if you don't have any questions. Ramkishore Pu, should we proceed for the next chapter?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can proceed because I think the questions are being asked as when required. No, by the devotees.
Yeah, basically, 7th chapter, there are prayers by so many various personalities, and there will require some time. Purports are big, and we have total 4 sessions, and for 7th chapter only will require good amount of time. So we'd like to even complete this chapter also as early as possible. Okay. Chapter 6, Brahma satisfies Lord Shiva. So षष्ठे तु देव संगेन sagatva bhavam vidhi. So Deva Sangena. So in this sixth chapter, Lord Brahma goes along with demigods. Deva Sangena Sahagatva Bhavam Vidhi. He goes to the Bhavam, that is to Lord Shiva. Santo Yamas Dakshadi Jivitad Dhyartham Adarat. So he wanted to pacify Lord Shiva and wanted to get the benedictions. Jivitadyartha Adarat. So that was the purpose. So that because now the different demigods, someone lost the eye, someone lost mustache and all. So all that we'll see how benedictions are offered. Text 1-2. Maitreya Vacha Atadeva Gana Sarve Rudranikai Parajitaha Shulapatti Shanistrinsha Gada Parigha Udgarai Gada Parigha Mudgaraihi Sanchina Bhinna Sarvangaha Satvik Sabhya Bhayakulaha Swayambhuve Namaskritya Karsnenaitat Nyavedayan.
All the priests and other members of the sacrificial assembly and all the demigods, having been defeated by the soldiers of Lord Shiva and injured by weapons like tridents and swords, approached Lord Brahma with great fear. After offering him obeisances, they began to speak in detail of all the events which had taken place.
Yeah. Now, as we see here, they are explaining because Lord Brahma was not present there. So that will be clarified ahead also. We'll see commentary of Ata Daksha Yajna Nashanantaram. After the sacrifice of Daksha was spoiled, and that was done by Rudanikai Shivasyannihi Sainihi, by the followers of Lord Shiva. Text 3. Upalabhya purer etat Bhagavan abja sambhavaha Narayanascha Vishwatma na kasyadvaramiyatuhu.
Both Lord Brahma and Vishnu had already known that such events would occur in the sacrificial arena of Daksha, and knowing beforehand, they did not go to the sacrifice.
Okay, so here it is mentioned that they knew it beforehand. So can someone say why they did not stop it?
Proji, because the Lord does not interfere with the free will of anyone.
Yeah, very good, very nice. So this is very important to understand. Otherwise, sometimes people say, Lord knows everything. Why does Lord let bad things happen and all that? So here Prabhupada mentions in purport 7.26. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjana. I know everything that has happened in the past and is going to happen in the future. Lord Vishnu is omniscient and he therefore knew what would happen at Daksha's sacrificial arena. For this reason, neither Narayan nor Lord Brahma attended the great sacrifice performed by Daksha. So what about Lord Brahma? Okay, Lord Narayan we understand. What about Lord Brahma? So
Prabhuji,
Lord
can we
Brahma is
say
Yes.
that Lord Brahma had some experience of how Daksha had insulted Lord Shiva. I don't know. That is and that's
No,
why
no.
he probably did
Basically,
not go.
Lord Brahma is also omniscient by the grace of Lord Narayan, and not to the extent the way we speak of Lord Narayan, but then by the grace of Lord Narayan, Lord Brahma is also omniscient. Lord Shiva is also omniscient. So we understand who are these personalities, those who are omniscient. And we understand how Lord Shiva also had spoken to Sati beforehand what could happen. कस्य दक्षस्य यज्ञे ब्रह्मा विष्णुश्च नियतु न जगमतुः. So in Prajapati Daksha's sacrifice, both Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu, they did not go. Yatra yatra rudrako yajna tatra Narayana virincho api nagato. So it is mentioned where there is no portion offered to Lord Rudra, there tatra Narayana virincho api. Lord Narayan and Brahma, they api na agato, they also did not come, they did not arrive. Text 4. तदाकर्ण विभु प्राह तेजयसि कृतागसि क्षेमाय तत्र सा भूयान् न प्रायेण.
When Lord Brahma heard everything from the demigods and the members who had attended the sacrifice, he replied, "You cannot be happy in executing a sacrifice if you blaspheme a great personality and thereby offend his lotus feet. You cannot have happiness in that way."
मला वाटतं तिकडचे आश्रमची लाईट गेली आहे, वायफाय डिस्कनेक्ट झाला म्हणून प्रभूजींचा बोर्ड झालाय स्क्रीन. येस, दिसतंय त्याच्यामुळे झालं.
Ramkishore too. Rishi Kumar too, you are able to hear me?
Yes, 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 Prabhu.
Who is reading translation?
Sachi Sundari Mataji was reading. Mataji, you are muted. Sachi Sundari Mataji.
Shall I read it again, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes. Somehow here electricity went away and internet also went away.
Okay, okay. When Lord Brahma heard everything from the demigods and the members who had attended the sacrifice, he replied, "You cannot be happy in executing a sacrifice if you blaspheme a great personality and thereby offend his lotus feet. You cannot have happiness in that way."
Wow, very nice. Vibhu Brahma, as this verse is mentioning, Tad Akarna Vibhu. So this Vibhu is referring to Lord Brahma. Teji Yasya Ati Tejaswini Purushe Kutagasi Satypi Swayam Tatta Kutagasa बुभूषताम अपराधम कर्तुमिच्छताम सा तथा बुभूषा तेषाम क्षेमाय न भूयात्. If you offend such a ati tejaswini, if you commit offense unto the such an powerful great personality, certainly kshemaya no bhuva, there is no question of auspiciousness to all of you. Here detail and mention that स्वयं कृत्र तत्र कृतागसा बुभूषताम अपराधम करे सा तथा बुभूषा तेषाम क्षमाय न भूयात्. That is, it is mentioned that even if such a great personality, he is committing swayam tatra kutagasa, he is committing some aparad, still then also in retaliation, or for that if someone wants to commit offense again, bubushatam aparadam kartumichatam sa tata bubusha, so then there is no auspiciousness for the person. So it is accepted that some great person, just like it is mentioned that sometimes Brahmana may become angry, but not that other person he becomes angry on Brahmana. So one should tolerate. That's what Lord Krishna also teaches to Yadus. So here also it is mentioned. Sridhar Swami is saying that even if such a great person himself, Swayam Tatra Putagasa, by that person, uh, offense is done, then we should not commit the aparad against him. So because for us it is not going to bring any auspiciousness, it is dangerous. But Lord Brahma explained to the demigod that although Daksha wanted to enjoy the results of fruitive sacrificial activities, it is not possible to enjoy when one offends a great personality like Lord Shiva. So because we understand the Daksha, his mentality was like he was karmi, and he was completely having a fruitive mentality. That's why it is mentioned as wanted to enjoy the results of fruitive sacrificial activities. It is not possible to enjoy when one offends a great personality like Lord Shiva. It was good for Daksha to have died in the fight, because if he had lived, he would have committed such offenses at the lotus feet of great personalities again and again. So Prabhupada is clarifying that yes, this is better for him. That was for his good only. And when future we'll see, when Daksha is also offering prayers, he is also expressing that it is better that you give appropriate punishment, and that is your mercy, because later if someone suffers for a long time, better that you give punishment. According to Manu's law, when a person commits murder, punishment is beneficial for him, because if he is not killed, he might commit more and more murders, and therefore be entangled in his future lives for having killed so many persons. So as per Manu Smriti also, as the code, it is mentioned that yes, if someone commits such kind of activity, the appropriate punishment is to hang him, or like kill him, that person. So how that is done in various situations? If someone is stealing, then his hands are cut. So whole life he understands, yes, this was the uh, crime I had committed, and then he doesn't get involved into the such criminal activities. So Vedic system ensure that person, even though in present life such kind of punishment appears heavy, but still that punishment is beneficial for that person, because he has bright future. So therefore the king's punishment of murder is appropriate. if those who are extremely offensive are killed by the grace of the Lord, that is good for them. In other words, Lord Brahma explained to the demigods that it was good for Daksha to have been killed. So even Brahma is approving the act. What is the relation between Brahma and Daksha?
Oh, अभी offering हो रहा है. Sorry, sorry.
Daksha is the son of Brahma.
Yeah, Brahma is father. Shivaji is also son, but then when it is seen that he is committing such kind of offenses unto Lord Shiva, it is better. He find that it is better that he was killed. Text 5. अथापि यूयं कृतकिल विषाभवं ये वर्षो भाग भाजं पराधु प्रसादयध्वं परिशुद्धचेतसा क्षिप्रप्रसादं प्रगृहीताङ्घ्रिपद्मम्.
You have excluded Lord Shiva from taking part in the sacrificial results, and therefore you are all offenders at his lotus feet. Still, if you go without mental reservations and surrender unto him and fall down at his lotus feet, he will be very pleased.
Yeah. So even though you have committed offense, so it is mentioned, Atapi prasada yadvam kshama. If you please him, he will forgive you. E bhavanta barisho yajne se bhagabhajam paradhu duradev khanditavantaha. So because he have not given his due share bhagabhajam, pragutaingri padmam pado praguru hetyartha. So it is mentioned that you go and catch the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. Pragruhitangri Padmam Pado. So,
Prabhuji, I have a short question here.
yes,
So the people, who were there after Daksha was killed, they may say, no, we were only following orders of Daksha, and that is why we had to go along with him. So, but here it is said that they are also culpable. That means they have also made mistake. So, following authority, that should be with discrimination.
certainly, because here we understand Lord Shiva is at no fault, and if we find that our authority has lost the sense of discrimination, and very specifically in relation with the Supreme Lord or in relation with the Mahabhagavatas, then it should be considered properly whether we should follow or not. And here, Lord Shiva is not only simply Mahabhagavat, but then we understand Kshiram Yathadadi. So, Lord Shiva's position is very special. So, that's why we have to be very careful in relation with such great personality. Even as we'll proceed, we'll find Lord Brahma is also offering respects to Lord Shiva. Certainly, Lord Shiva as a etiquette, because his father, Brahmaji is his father from the perspective of appearance. So he is also giving respect to Lord Brahma. But then from Tattva point of view, Lord Shiva is such a great person. He is not into category of Jiva Tattva. So that's why it is appropriate that if authority, so-called authority, when because authority is when we say someone is authority, till the time authority is following, keeping this principle in mind that supreme personality of Godhead uh, should be respected in all circumstances. So that uh, principle is forgotten, then there is a great danger. And here we find what Daksha is doing. He is offending Lord Shiva for no reason. There is no question of like no blaspheming someone, and that too such kind of blasphemy which was not at all suitable considering the stature or greatness of Lord Shiva. And that too the details are mentioned how Lord Shiva did not get up because he was completely focused on the Supreme Lord. So he is respecting everyone, but if that respect is not understood, then as we say the principle, amanina manadena, we should give respect to everyone else. But when it happens that we desire, we demand respect, so that is egoistic attitude. And we find that that's what happened with Daksha. Otherwise, Vaishnava, where is that kind of mentality? Vaishnava means he will simply give respect to everyone else without desiring respect for himself. So Lord Shiva, even though Daksha blasphemed so much, he did not kill Daksha that time. So we understand that yes, for his personal, uh, when it came for his personal insults and all, he tolerated. So he is such a great personality, Ati Tejasvi. So he is tolerating even if he has power. Then how can we say that we should follow a person who is disrespecting such a powerful personality? We should never follow such kind of personality, such kind of authority, because that authority is only for the namesake. Authority, as long as authority is in the line following the instructions of Supreme Lord, till that time we can follow. Is it clear, Paji?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bhoj.
Prabhu, can I add something?
Yes, Paji.
So I'm remembering as you are speaking about Ramakrishna Prabhu's question regarding authority and the authority goes wrong, what to do. So we can see the example of Yuyutsu, who was actually one of the Kauravas, but later on when he saw that he's not on the part of Dharma, he actually left that party and came in the parties of Pandavas and fought against Kauravas. So
Yeah, nice example.
another example I'm feeling to remember is Vikarna actually. Although one of the Kauravas, but he in front of everyone he criticized the Duryodhana and everyone regarding the Vastraharan this thing of Draupadi. He was the one who actually he didn't tolerate it that. He said that this is not correct.
Yeah. But later he could not.
Later he couldn't carry it.
So here, this verse number 5. Okay, we have to read the purport. Lord Shiva is also called Ashutosh. Ashu means very soon, and Tosha means to become satisfied. The demigods were advised to go to Lord Shiva and beg his pardon. And because he is very easily pleased, it was certain that their purpose would be served. Lord Brahma knew the mind of Lord Shiva very well, and he was confident that demigods were offenders at his lotus feet could mitigate their offenses by going to him and surrendering without reservation. Someone would like to say what is this surrendering without reservation?
Surrender without any ulterior motive.
Okay. Someone would like to add?
Surrendering without seeing the position, post, caste, and other things, and without any begging forgiveness or anything.
Very. Some more devotees would like to add?
Surrendering without any explanation why I did that.
Yeah. So basically, surrendering without conditions. As soon as you put condition, we surrender if you give whatever loss you made to us or whatever. Uh, if that kind of attitude is there, then how Lord will forgive? Because you have committed offense. You are supposed to be punished. You should receive that punishment. So considering all that, Lord Brahma, Prabhupada is giving clarity that yes, certainly they should surrender without any reservation. Otherwise, people they have reservation, mental reservations, bodily reservations, and so many reservations. So when it is mentioned that Pado, the hold, uh, catch the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. So someone just giving respects externally only, not mentally, then how Lord will be pleased? So one should, as we say, just like Ashtanga Pranam means even mind is also offered, saying that yes, we are offering everything to the Lord. So similarly here also, this surrender is without any reservation, and that's how Lord will be very much pleased. Text 6.
Prabhuji,
Ashasana, yes,
so the same formula applies for our advancement in bhakti, right? When we surrender without reservation to spiritual master, only then we can progress.
yeah, it is right what you are saying, but then it is very
Very
difficult
difficult.
also,
Very
because
difficult.
it is when we speak during lecture or we discuss it, it is quite easy from the perspective of saying that yes, we'll do it. But when we serve in the project together, when we have our some opinion that this is how this is going to work, we have experience of it, we understand this is what is practical, and then something is proposed that appears as if it is useless or as if it is not going to work. And sometimes it happens that we have some experience, we understand, and after even after we say that this should be done this way, and they don't want to accept it, and when the things are externally there is failure, then our ego is boosted much more, and then we feel that no, this should be done this way only. Last time also I means like we have so many reasons and explanations and all that. But then, as Prabhupada says that this is the most toughest thing, that cooperation between devotees, and very specifically that cooperation is possible when the hearts are together, when devotees they understand each other hearts, they study Srimad Bhagavatam together, they chant together, when they have that kind of uh, what you can say Sajatiya mentality, and they have complete respect, understanding, and they can adjust for each other, then any difficult task can be accomplished. But then coming together and developing that kind of mentality, it is most toughest, as we see in the case of Prachetas, how even Supreme Lord is very much pleased. Why Lord is pleased? Because it's not that they were like no like a organization and there are thousands and thousands of people. Simply even if 10 people are there, but they have this mood of serving together with proper mentality, as we say that no attitude of gratitude for servitude, like no pleasing the Lord, then that association is very relishable and soothing to the heart, and that time it becomes easy for one to surrender without reservation, because those impressions are so strong. Yes, this devotee also, he wants to advance, that person also wants to advance, and I'm very much attached to them. So because we have attachment, Mad Sevadaram Ahuru Vimuktes, we have that strong attachment. Because of that strong attachment, we give up our reservations. But it becomes very difficult unless and until we have that kind of association and we are very much strongly attached to pure devotees. So should we complete few verses or tomorrow we'll continue? Already 4:30.
Proji, I think we can go for like 3, 4, 5 minutes because we started around
Okay,
4:35.
yeah. So we'll have few verses where like no, if purport is there, then we'll see it tomorrow. The verses which don't have purport, we'll just cover it. Text 6. आशासाना जीवित मध्वरस्य लोकसपालः कुपितेन यस्मिन् तमाशु देवं प्रियया विहीनं क्षमापयध्वं हृदि विद्धं दुरुक्ते.
Lord Brahma also advised them that Lord Shiva is so powerful that by his anger, all the planets and their chief controllers can be destroyed immediately. Also, he said that Lord Shiva was especially sorry because he had recently lost his dear wife and was also very much afflicted by the unkind words of Daksha. Under the circumstances, Lord Brahma suggested it would behoove them to go at once and beg his pardon.
So here we find Lord Brahma, he is explaining the status or even the heart or emotions of Lord Shiva. So those who are impersonalist, Mayavadis, sometimes these people they say Shivoham or they chant Om Namah Shiva and like no so many things we find, and they think that this is all everything having emotions and all that is all Maya or that is not actual real attainment. So unless and until person comes to the platform of pure devotional service, he cannot understand and appreciate reality. But where, as we are studying this Amal Puran, here we are getting complete clarity. Yes, even the Lord Shiva, as it is mentioned, he is such a powerful personality that by his anger, all the planets and their chief controllers can be destroyed immediately. Even though that is the case, but still he has emotions. So this process, when we speak of Krishna consciousness, certainly it is not simply sadhana. Our sadhya, our goal is also that yes, as we attain pure devotional service, as we go back home, back to Godhead, there we are also going to have these exchanges based on these pure emotions. Take 7. Naham na yajno na chayu yamanye ye deha bhajo munayascha tattvam vidu pramanam balavirayova yasyatmatantrasya upayam viditset.
Lord Brahma said that no one, not even himself, Indra, all the members assembled in the sacrificial arena, or all the sages could know how powerful Lord Shiva is. Under the circumstances, who would dare to come under the circumstances, who would dare to commit an offense at his lotus feet?
Yeah, so Lord Brahma himself is saying that not even himself can understand how powerful Lord Shiva is.
Okay, just for information, it is already 4:30 now.
Oh, okay, yes, we'll just complete this verse and we'll
Yes, yes,
stop.
yes, please.
It is mentioned, Vayam tu tatra gantum vibhimas tvameva kanchit upayam vidatsveti chedat ah na iti. So why this verse is starting, Naham na yajno. So yajnastadanim indra yasyam tattvam balavirya pramanam yattam chana vidhu viryam parakramah. So if these demigods, they say, we are fearful to go to Lord Shiva. So that time, Kanchit Upayam Vidatsve. So, is there any alternative or there is any means? So, Lord Brahma, he is saying, No iti. So, there is no alternative, means you should go to him only. And he is mentioning how the prowess of Lord Shiva cannot be understood, and he has mentioned the details also in the verse. We'll read purport and stop. After Lord Brahma advised the demigods to go to Lord Shiva and beg his pardon, it was suggested how he should be satisfied and how the matter should be placed before him. Brahma also asserted that none of the conditioned souls, including himself and all the demigods, would know how to satisfy Lord Shiva. But he said it is known that is very easily satisfied, Ashutosh. So let us try to satisfy him by falling at his lotus feet. So generally it is seen that as soon as a person offers complete uh, prostrated obeisances, respects, immediately the person to whom such respects are offered, person's heart gets melted. And we understand even Prabhupada ji, when his disciples, he gave him sannyas, so he asked Brahmanand Swami, go and offer respects to your mother. So they offered, mother opened the door, and actually she was not able to see anyone. They offered complete, full prostrated obeisances, and actually they could win the heart of their mother. So actually the position of the subordinate is always to surrender to the Supreme. That is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord asks everyone to give up all kinds of concocted occupations, sarvadharman parityajya, and simply surrender unto Him. That will protect the conditioned souls from all sinful reactions. Similarly, in this case, Brahma also suggested that they go and surrender unto the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, for since he is very kind and easily satisfied, this action would prove effective. So if they want appropriate right result, then this will be effective. So we stop here. Tomorrow we'll have session. That time we'll continue from text 8. श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि।
Tribhuva
थैंक यू वेरी
Prabhu,
मच। यस प्रभु।
Prabhuji, tomorrow we have a youth camp here in Chennai. I'm here in Chennai now. So I have
Yes.
services whole day. So I may partially attend or I may not be able to attend. This is just very important.
यस प्रभु जी।
Thank you.
थैंक यू वेरी मच। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you so much, Sri Guru Prabhuji. I especially like that attitude of gratitude for servitude. So I will. So these are some precious pearls that come. Yeah, so it's very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
थैंक यू। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.